Myself Dr. Naina Arun Zope. My topic is theories of punishment. It is my first video lecture relating to topic of penology in LLB third year and LLM first year. So my topic is theories of punishment. First of all, we know that the punishment is given to the person who has committed the offense or the wrongful act. Sentencing the guilty person is most important, but it is also difficult to how the punishment is imposed upon him. Crime are committed everywhere in the society, but the treatment or the punishment can completely, with no punishment or no treatment can completely remove the crimes from the society. But nowadays there will be variations in the intensity where the crimes are committed. To punish the criminal is recognized an important function of the state in all the civilized society. But with the changing pattern of modern societies, the approach of penologists towards the punishment has also undergone. The penologist today is concerned with the crucial problem as to the end of punishment and at its place in the penal policy. Though various opinions are different, and on that opinion these theories of punishments are classified. The first theory of punishment is the retributive theory of punishment. This theory is demanding the law of ancient Hebrews, that is an eye for eye and a tooth for tooth. The corporeal punishment used in England and the American colonies were based on the retribution. The Bible states that when one man strikes another and kills him, he shall be put to death. Whoever strikes a bit and kills shall make restitution life for life. When one injures and disfigures his fellow countryman, it shall be done when as he done. Means fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. The injuries and disfigurement that he has inflicted upon another shall be inflicted upon him, means the same injury has to be given on the offender. This is based on the principle of tit for tat. Retribution means something done or given to somebody as punishment or vengeance for something he or she has done. It is just a retribution for their crime. This theory states that there should be same injury in return of the crime when he had committed the offense against the victim. Means it assimilated to revenge, but a public rather than a private revenge. Retributive theory punishes the offender because they are deserving of the punishment. It says that you have caused harm to the society, then now you must pay back for it and you must be astonished to your misdeeds. Implicit in retribution is the condemnation or denunciation of both of the offenders and the offending behavior. It does not means that the person who had raped, the society raped the rapist or steals from the thief. Instead of that, law attempts or tries to convert the offense into currency and to impose a sentence which is proportional to the harm caused. Retribution is the oldest goal of criminal punishment, but nowadays it is considered as a brutal punishment if it exceeds the seriousness of the crime. Now there are various criticisms on this punishment on the ground that it is barbaric, brutal and inhuman in nature. Bentham in his utilitarian theory criticizes the punishment seriously. Also, Salmond says that crimes are not considered as a bank account like the debit and credit account in the bank. Revenge cannot reattribute it just like the bank accounts. If you injure the criminal, again he is compelled to do the criminal act or to take the revenge, and therefore this creates a chain reaction in the society. The primary function of the criminal justice system is to punish the wrongdoer and to see the similar type of offense shall not happen in the society or not occur in the society. Now its applicability is ended, or it is not applicable in India now, means this theory is farewelled by the India on the ground on the humanitarian view. Second theory of punishment is the deterrent theory of punishment. To deter means something that deters somebody, or something restrain anyone from doing something, taking some action, or to discourage somebody from taking action or prevent something happening. It is just a warning. Preventive, feel afraid or anxious. Restrictive, restraining means some action is restrained or some action is restricted by this punishment. This is known as utilitarian preventive theory. The utilitarianism assess punishment as a good that punishment do for the individual or for the society. We know that Jeremy Bentham is the father of the utilitarian theory. This theory states that maximum number of people, satisfaction of maximum number of people, means greatest pleasure ought to be given to the greatest number of people. That means people calculate every act in terms of profit or benefit, and like that they also they also calculate the punishment and the offenses, and they do not commit the offense which are not beneficial to them. This idea make an example of actual offenders so that other offenders learn from their experience and not tempted to commit the offense in future. It is believed that the infliction of the punishment in the form or its fear or its apprehension generally keep the people away from committing the acts forbidden by the law. This theory is somewhat helping in reducing the crime, but it is not effective. The effect of enforcement of personal law is more important than the process of provision for punishment in the statute books. It is counterintuitive to say that punishment does not deter the offenders. Even though the prohibition of drug traffic in the USA has apparently created more drug traffics than it was deterred, we do not think that the increase in drug use implies that more people want to be punished than want to be avoid being punished. The Indian judiciary state that deterring victimless exchanges means this theory is used or applicable by the judiciary in various serious crimes like murders by the section 302 of the IPC. But realizing it that the brutality of punishment is not a greater deterrent effect on the society. Third type of punishment is third type of theory of punishment is preventive. Preventive means somebody used to devise to stop something from happening or to stop people from doing the particular act. Preventive theory punishes the offender to prevent the future crime in the society. How? By isolating the criminals from the society. This theory believes that the goal of the punishment is to put restrictions. If the criminal is confined or put into behind the bars, executed or otherwise incapacitated, such punishment will deny the criminal ability or opportunity to commit the future crimes and prevent the society from that harm. Preventive theory is based on that the object of the punishment is not to avenge the crime but to prevent it. It presupposes that the need of the punishment of the crime simply arises out of the social necessity. This theory is divided into two parts. One is the incapacitation, the second is the incarceration. Incapacitation means the capacity of the offender is deprived of or his capacity is taken away by imposing the punishment upon him. We already seen that in ancient time when the thief committed the theft, his hands were chopped up, or if he committed the sexual offenses, then his sexual organs or the private parts were cut off. Why? So that his capacity to commit that offense again was taken away by the authority. So incapacitation means to taken away the capacity to commit the same offense. Now second type of the preventive theory of punishment is incarceration. It is known as imprisonment in India. In India, imprisonment is general form of incarceration for an offense punishable with the imprisonment under IPC and special laws. Incarceration means to put somebody in prison or to place somebody in a place or situation of confinement. the most serious or repeat offenders are incarcerated. This incarceration may be given, or this imprisonment may be given for lifetime or for a certain period. When he is undergoing the sentence, he has observed by the authorities. When for his good conduct, he is also eligible for remission, parole, or furlough. He is getting wages for the work done by him during incarceration. Under the scheme of the institutional care, various rehabilitative and reformative courses are conducted for them. Now the fourth type of punishment, theory of punishment, is reformative theory. Now there are various words which are synonymous to the word reformation, that is to change, to alter, transform, development, amendment. Reform means change, and it improves somebody by correcting the faults, removing inconsistencies and abuses, and imposing methods or values, or adopt a more acceptable way of life and mode of behavior, or persuade himself to do something which is good. This theory's goal is to reform the offender or give him the chance or opportunity of reforming into law-abiding citizens. Means to give up his criminal behavior and converted him into law-abiding citizens. Supporters of this theory seek to prevent crime by providing offender with the education and treatment necessary to eliminate criminal tendencies, to remove their criminal tendencies, as well as skills to become more productive members of the society. Here it is considered the convicted person or the offender is considered as the patient, or he is in need of the doctor come guide and not the need of the jailer. So the criminal can be reformed into a good citizen as a law abiding by him a competent treatment during his imprisonment period. This theory is not giving punishment on seeing the past conduct of the offender, but it is based on the future. This theory states that the offender should not be punished, but he should be treated and converted into law-abiding citizens by giving training. He should be trained to rehabilitate in the society after completion of his sentence. The major emphasis of the reformist movement is on the rehabilitation of the offenders in penal correctional institutions so that they can be transformed into the good citizens. As against deterrent theory, retributive theory, preventive theory, the reformative approach is to seek to bring about the changes in the attitude of the offender so that he can be converted into law-abiding member of the society. So it is used as a measure to reclaim the offender and not to torture and harass him. The reformation theory condemns all kinds of corporeal punishment, physical punishment. The reformative attitude is based on the human treatment of the inmates inside the prison institutions. This theory suggests that the prisoner should be properly trained to adjust themselves to free life in the society after their release from the institution, that is the prison. And many other benefits like parole and furlough are recommended for the best measures to reclaim offender to society as reformed person. The fifth type of theory of punishment is the expiation theory. This theory is also known as theory of restoration. Expiation means the act of expiating, reparation, amends, compensation. It means atoning or suffering criminal suffering punishment from a wrongdoing. This is not a new concept. We know that it is from the epic period also. Valia, who was a famous dacoit, turned into a Sikh Maharshi Valmiki and wrote the Ramayana. It is the best example of the expiation and reformation theory. The theory of restoration takes a victim-oriented approach to the crime that emphasize restitution or the compensation to the victim and not focusing on the punishment of the offender, and advocates restoration of the victim and creating constructive role of victim in the criminal justice system. For example, if relatives of a murder victim may be encouraged to testify about the impact of the death when the murderer is sentenced by the court. The promoters of the theory believe that such victim involvement in the process helps in repairing the harm caused by the crime and facilitate community reconciliation. This theory states that suggests that compensation is awarded to the victim from the wrongdoer. By awarding the compensation from the pocket of the wrongdoer, he is punished and is prevented from doing such offenses in his remaining life. This is also become a lesson to the remaining people also. This is also states that the offender must atone for his crime must suffering, whereas on the other hand, once the punishment has been inflicted, there is an implicit expiation idea. It is also stated in the religious sense also that he made penal reform possible, means the person can be reformed due to this expiation. The theory of expiation thus present practical difficulty in the matter of quantum of punishment, which may be equal to the washing of the moral guilt. Now we see that which theory our judiciary is adopting. The judiciary has adopted reformation theory, deterrent theory and expiation theory because the Supreme Court held that the object of section 357 of CRPC to provide compensation payable to the people who are entitled to recover the damages from the person sentenced even though fine does not form part of the sentence. Means compensation to victim is recognized by Indian judiciary. Indian judiciary is emphasizing on the deterrence from the deterrence of the crime. Deterrent and preventive sentence is sometimes necessary in the interest of the society. The modern trend place emphasis on the reformation of the offender and his rehabilitation. Reformation is the sentencing lodestar and retribution theory is abolished by the Indian judiciary. Thank you very much.